So tell me one thing, what is your experience? When should people start preparing for the GMAT, or is it anything like for round one, it is too late then? Exactly how much time should ideally be taken by people? Probably how much time will they need? And is this the time that they definitely should start for round one? What would be your
So
take?
I'll continue from where Nupur left. Round one is very, very important. And I'll explain a little bit about how most of these universities work. So, especially CBS is a rolling admission. So, what does that mean? As the applications come through, the candidates are decided then and there whether a yes or a no. So, what
Right.
happens is, and most of these universities work on diversity. So, for example, if they have 800 students, they have decided that 15% would be Indians. They would have decided that 50% would be male, female, and then X% of students from consulting background, from software engineering background, from equity research, from PE. So, what happens? So, I fall in a bucket, say Indian women, so much score, and in equity research. So if they would have already found applicants and they would have already chosen people from a similar background, my chances of getting in would be much, much more difficult. And hence, round one is absolute necessary. The earlier you do is better. CBS starts taking students in August. Unfortunately, I was not able to push through, so I had this whole game plan that I'll start preparing in April, and then I'll take 3 months, and then July I will be done with my GMAT, and then August I'm gonna apply. I went to other coaching. Unfortunately, did not work out. I joined GMAT only in June, and then I gave my exams in October. And obviously, our all our job schedules are very, very tough, and then you will have personal battles going out. For me, my work hours are crazy. I'm in equity research. I have every day from 8 to 7, and then plus weekends and plus result season. And then you will have personal battles also. My dad suffered from stroke in the middle. My husband got into CBS, so we had to plan and move before December. So all of those things will also happen in the background. So as soon as you get, when you decide, so first of all, first is that decision that I want to do an MBA, and once you decide, just stick to it and take that decision early on. I would suggest don't take years to decide. Take 5 days and decide whether you want to do an MBA. If it is a yes, go for it full fledgedly, and then keep pushing, and as soon as you do it is better.
So when it's focused and when it's the right content with the right strategies, I think it still can take time for some people. I'm not saying it's some kind of magic wand, but definitely we got to start now, as is the consensus probably. In terms of applications, could you just tell what challenges that were unanticipated, that okay, when in August you started, or where, whatever, round one or round two, and this was like, okay, it takes so much effort, I did not know, or it takes so much time. Was there something like a ton of work to do that was unanticipated? Just give me an idea about the application process. How were you able to navigate all that? Yes, in your case may not be because you knew a family member was
Yeah.
already there, but still, I mean, were there challenges along the way when you were preparing your applications, and how much
So
time did you have to
honestly,
earmark?
yeah, I believe that 2.5 months is something that you need, because if you're going to apply to multiple universities, you have to do a very detailed research on them, because the questions that they ask, there's a reason behind what they're trying to find, and there's a reason behind why these schools have different application process, and what they're looking for is much more different. So first you also have to decide which school you want to get in. Then
Right.
second, you have to research on the universities, and then you have to write their essays. So it's a long process, and then you have to get a recommendation letter from your bosses. My boss took 3 weeks to only write a recommendation. He's a very busy man, and yeah, you will have that all sorts of ups and downs. For me, I took 1.5 months, and you, as you mentioned, that I had my husband who was guiding me through and through because he had done all of it. And I honestly just had that 1.5 months because we had to move out of the country. So that's the only dedicated time that I could have given. And as I mentioned, CBS is rolling, so the earlier is the better. And yeah, decide on which school early on, write those applications. Those applications are, as Nupur was mentioning, they are, you need to put a lot of thinking behind them. behind them, like why CBS, why, what are your goals, what are your short-term goals, and you have to sell a story, as says, you have to sell a story to them and convince them that you are the fit for them, and you know for sure what do you want to do in your life, which is a very, very difficult question to answer, and it's
So
especially
each one
write
of them,
it
I think,
precisely.
right. I mean, each one of them is saying at least 2 months. You said 2.5, which is, I also
Yeah.
find it excessive because I don't know how much time people will actually get post the GMAT. But two
Exactly,
months I
exactly.
always recommend have for the process. And it is a very taxing and time consuming process. It's a whole soul searching. It's a drain on your entire mental resources. But at the end, you also know yourself better and you really know I can
Yeah.
sell. I can absolutely face anybody and sell. So it's a great process to go through, but it takes time. So you're saying, I mean, these are the two questions I had specifically for you. When should people start and how much time does the application process take? Because we know what time GMAT will take for an average student, that I know, but application process I really wanted to have. And how have you been very relieved once you got your admissions? Let me ask on a lighter note. So Bhakti, what was it like for you when you finally heard that you're through
For
this?
me, all my bets were only at CBS. That's the only school that I'd applied. So it was like such a risky affair. And that also I had applied in round two. So it was very, very relieving. And the one thing that I would like to add is once you get in, I
Mhm.
think it becomes, I'm excited to be part of it. And once you get in, there's this point that the whole, sir has also mentioned this in the past. The university then helps you to succeed in your goal. So, for
Absolutely.
example, my husband wants to get into P firm,
Hmm.
and in the very first month, they've given him a list of ex students who have gone into various PE firms and their contact details and how uh, they told him to approach these people to see if there are openings and how to go about it.
School
So once
definitely,
you get
the
in,
school wants you to be placed as well as they
exactly,
can probably.
exactly. So I think it's a great to be getting into the
No,
school.
M7 schools are a great ecosystem. I mean, you just can't really measure that. You say, oh, Wharton and Kellogg are parent schools to ISB, but it nationalities, the number of people, the kind of people, the diversity, everything adds to it. It's not just financial accounting to wohi rahega. It's not like that. I mean, there's
Yeah,
loads in that okay, what can you teach different in marketing? This is the way we evaluate, but when these people come out, trust me, talk to them 2 years later if you can, over LinkedIn maybe, you will not believe the transformation they've gone through. They already must be in that zone, because talking to such people who've gotten through, not just from India but other places, it really puts them in a completely different bracket. And it's been a thrilling experience hosting you and really helping you over the months. Any students here, if they want to connect, I'm not sure how busy they'll get once they're in school, but you can still take tips from them till they're here.